Devo spostulite rurana con poresti audita. Caien vide nove, silentigas duonon della mondo. Filino, fratino, i cani ai patrino. I defendente demona in ago indeni frato. I laki alo, che nine nia pova su nuigi. Esta si magita povo kaiji. Sen fina serciado. Fantomo kun vera corpo. Movado kun vera celo. Voccio pelata de colero, tiu i vorto estas la frapo, kiu mi rigas vin, tiu mesaggio mi esperas revenigas la equilibro.
Welcome back, everybody. It has been a month, and I have been mostly sick. My name is Ramen Wukong. This is your monthly Martini. Let us get into it. We got just a couple of topics today. It's been a pretty slow month because, as I said, I've been sick for at least 3 weeks, and it has been I've had coffee, tea, and an energy drink, and I could still take a nap. That's how much this has just killed my ass. But anyway, first and foremost, obviously I've not updated the website to today's video. This is last month's video, and overall I do need to tweak the website a little bit to update little things here and there. The Explorer is probably going to be the next part that I focus on. I want a new Explorer. This one is acting not the way that I want, and I'm going to be switching to a custom built using a live wallet kind of Explorer that I've been toying around with for the last couple of months. But I really got to get serious and nose to the grindstone on that one. S-Mart has also stalled. It's the back end for that has been incredibly difficult to do. But let's move on to the good news. Bake, our in-house compiler tool, is completely ready for launch. We're officially on version 3.2 on the release side. As you can see here, we have a release in dev, and this is the release. It is good to go. Some of the documentation where I use version or tag versus branch or tag, that was just accidentally thrown in. I wasn't really editing so much, but effectively all of the documentation for this project has now been updated for the current mode, not what it used to be. Bake now does single target, batch, and then you also have options and functionality to it. There will be a separate video that goes into this in the near future that'll explain a lot more of this stuff, but realistically you can just read through here. So we have Bake, which is the main tool, Dishy, which is the one that cleans up the workspace, Child, which allows you to select which build targets you want. If Child isn't run and no build targets are selected at the time of run, the system will try to determine your architecture and build for that. Garnish, which will allow you to add flags for the custom build functions like no GUI, right, if you just want that. That is kind of in an alpha state. There's just a handful of them, and I want to tweak that in the near future to get a little bit more better utilization out of it. And then Seuss, which is the runtime maintenance package, which would allow you to upgrade to the new version of Bake, fully uninstall, and try to repair, that kind of stuff. The first run is just a first run utility that basically primes your system, gets everything utilization and which library we're using, because I now have my own custom shared functions library for this software, and an asset pool that tries to maintain everything is functioning smoothly on the back end and make sure everything gets put in its proper place. You have the kind of generic how-tos here, and then the advanced documentation on it here. Some of this needs a little bit more work, but overall we're good to go here. It reads. But yeah, this has been a really fun project. It was nice to do while I was sick because I could, pull out 30 minutes to an hour a day to just kind of, oh man, it really took my ass down. So it was about 30 minutes to a day, and I could dick around with it, see what I wanted to do, what I was trying to do from these two applications, because originally it was Bake and Bakery. Now they're the single application, so no more split, and everything works from one interface. This is less interactive than Bake used to be, and again, I'll go into that more when I do the full video about it, where Bake originally would ask you questions. This doesn't. It will compile based off of preset flags. So slightly different user interface to it, but it effectively runs the same. Okay. Exchange to the change again. We are working with a new exchange, NestX specifically. They will likely be our next exchange that we have partnered with. I know I wanted one that really worked with CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, but the reality is that the two that I had in mind for that have basically doubled their asking listing price, so I think they're now asking something close to $6,000, and I'm still hesitant about no KYC. I suspect that will wind up being run afoul of money laundering claims. I don't claim that they're running money laundering, but I suspect that various governments are going to start going after them in the way that some other smaller exchanges are. There's been a lot of chatter about them on whitelist news sites, so I suspect that they will be targeted in the near future. So I'm very hesitant to partner with them, and they're still in the $3,000 range, because basically if you spend the $3,000 and they go under, you're SOL. So point is that NestX has been really, really responsive and really, really helpful to our cause and getting us featured over there. Right now I have to go to the board, for the company that I run, to request financing because it costs money. They have given us a sweetheart deal. I'm not going to talk about that, but yeah, they definitely hooked us up with a sweetheart deal, but I still need to authorize money transactions between the company and any private project, which the Bitoreum network definitely is a private project, and as our financials are showing, yeah, this runs my company a loss of about $1,000 to $2,000 a year. And it might even run a little bit higher this year. Excuse me, hosting services are going up, and I want to add more backbone nodes to the network, and I want to add multiple exchanges. So I wanted to have a American West Coast exchange, and then that would take care of pretty much all of North America. And then I was thinking either a Helsinki or I forget the other city, but basically there's two VPSs over there that run very competitive pricing to the tune of, I think it's around $200 a year to get us good space, multi-core, good RAM allotment to run the same thing over there, because that one I think will wind up being double duty, or the provider, not the server, because I am still working on hardware wallet integration, but that has also stalled due to just a lot of things. Most importantly is because I've been fucking sick. Right? Like, I am so far behind the eight ball, both for this project and my personal life. One of the things that I've been very unhappy with, I like the color scheme, but I don't like the look of this, and this is based off of, oh, apparently I took it out. It's like Eloquist or something like that. Go over here. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what ours is based off of, as are most people. The problem is that with this one, the MongoDB backend for it is extremely resource intensive, like ridiculously. Basically, it's almost chewed through the RAM on this, and I've had to enable quite a bit of swap to make it run as good as I'd like. So not having the MongoDB as a backend will be a godsend. I'm probably going to replace it with a smaller DB that just tracks the market data, not even the hash rate, because that I think I can pull from the wallet itself, if I remember correctly. Basically, it would pull the market cap data here from the exchanges and build a better API for that. So that would have to have a database, but I'm not databasing the entire block index, which is effectively what MongoDB does. So in layman's terms, the block data is on the exchange, which takes up a massive amount of data, as most of you know, because this is actually designed for the exchange. So whatever your block data is, basically double it. So I think we're now up to almost 8 gigs is what the block data is. And then the MongoDB will basically double that, because they have to index it in their own special little fancy thing here, which irritates the piss out of me. So on top of the fact that there's a huge space requirement, the RAM requirement to run MongoDB in general is also kind of a pain in the ass. So there are times where this is sluggish and buggy for me, and it shouldn't be. This particular VPS is probably about 600 miles away from me, so I should effectively be getting no lag ever, unless there's like something wrong with my internet. But I have found often that there have been lag issues with it, and a large part of that is in part due to resources. And regardless what the complaint is, this is not one of them that causes a problem for me. It may cause a problem for you because it was very poorly done in CSS, but for me, it's not the issue. The bigger issue is the backend and the RAM requirements is definitely slowing this thing down. So that will definitely be the next thing that I want to work on to get a new exchange, and it has to work the same way. So it might not have all of the APIs that we're familiar with here, but the base APIs and the base structure will be the same, so that way you could still look for things and everything would still work as it would here, following the path up here. So that way there should be nothing that would need to be updated on pools or exchanges or anything like that. So that's what I will be probably focusing my next attention on. There hasn't been a whole lot of need to update the software. There's still a lot of things I am testing, and as many of you know, I also screw around by letting Codex dick around with one of our branches to see what it comes up with. Sometimes it comes up with some fun stuff. The vast majority of it is hallucination junk, as we like to say. But there are some interesting things that come up from time to time. So, in general, Bake is done. Bake is done. The Exchange Nestex will be coming probably in about a month or two once all the funding is secured on that from my end. Because not only do I have to get the money from the board, I have to convert it to USDT, and then I also need to fund liquidity pools for the trading platform, which is all fine. We have the liquidity part settled. What I don't have is the USDT, and that always takes time because, I don't know, it seems like in the US, buying USDT is always a huge hassle, which is unfortunate. So, that is pretty much it for our major updates. There weren't a whole lot, primarily because, like I said, I was sick for, 3.5 weeks out of the last month. I was basically sick the day after I started getting sick the day after the last recording. And then it really did take my ass down. Oh, there was mucus and good stuff everywhere. The less about that, the better. So now, we are going to move over to our dead letter section. There are really only 2 questions, and I don't see a lot of people actually following the channel today. I know that shit has been rough for a lot of people, so I don't expect a whole lot of live followers today. I suspect the vast majority will catch this on the flip side, which is fine, because the biggest update that we had, like I said, was Bake, which is our in-house tool, but it is open to the general public, and hopefully we can start getting more utilization out there to the public. But anyway, basically there were only 2 real questions. If you are on the Discord server right now, you can go ahead and just drop them in any of the open chats. One question, and I get this a lot, particularly from Twitter, is why don't you update on Twitter more often than not? I hate the platform. There's no nice way to sugarcoat it. I really hate that platform. Anytime I try posting, one of 3 things happens, and I think a lot of it is because I'm based in the US and because I'm a cryptocurrency project. I either get inundated with crypto bros or what I like to call crypto grifters. They're not people that are trying to scam you out of crypto. It's a different kind of scam, and I find it equally as frustrating. Hey bro, if you pay me like $100 a week, I'll promote your product. First of all, I don't know who you are, right? If I knew you as a real crypto influencer, even if I didn't like you, I would be more amenable to that. Probably not, because I just hate the whole concept of paying for promotion. I know it's a needed evil, but there's limits to like what kind of paid promotion I'd be okay with. But yeah, you get those kind of jackasses that come up, hey bro, for like $100 a month, or if you can give me like half a Bitcoin, no you won't. No you won't. Stop lying. Shut up right now. I get a lot of that. And then I get the other finance bros that are, oh, I can predict this and I can predict that and I can predict this. You don't even know what the fuck cryptocurrency was built for. Shut the fuck up. You get a lot of those. And then the worst of the three. I can loosely tolerate the first two. The third one I have become less and less tolerant to are just the US politics. Look, I'm all for a great meme. You want to do the ice cream meme, or Biden falling off of his bike, or Trump falling upstairs, or I don't know, Bush unable to say nuclear, or something about Monica Lewinsky, or Trump blowing Bub up. That's all well and good on occasion, but the legitimate politic battles, no, absolutely the fuck not. A couple reasons why. The vast majority of people that use social media are fucking idiots, right? You don't have a degree in poli-sci, you don't understand the first thing about actual politics, and you're basically a little bit less tolerable than a football fan who is super possibly sexually into their sports team that they're rooting for. I treat them with slightly more respect because they at least understand their team and their sport well enough to be interested in it. You don't even have that kind of qualification. So, by and large, I hate Twitter as a platform. And that's why I don't post over there as much as I probably should. I prefer Blue Sky, although, again, I've been slacking on that one for a lot of the third reason. That has becoming a lot more political, and Threads for the same reason. I'm probably going to delete my Threads account. I don't have one for this project, but I do have a personal Threads account. That has just become a shit show of politics. And there's no way to un-algorithm that. You could start a fresh Threads account today. I mean, you go out and buy a brand new phone, get a brand new telephone line, and set up a Threads account today that has nothing to do with any of your other accounts anywhere on the face of the planet, and you will immediately get political content on all three of those platforms, and I cannot stand that shit. Look, there's a time and a place for politics. Every waking hour of every waking day? Absolutely not. And I'm an American, and we have to live that shit. So, no, I don't want to go online and deal with politics, which is a large reason I've pulled back very, very large from social media. Plus, I'm still working on our new Discord-like server, Zulip. It has been an interesting challenge, but again, I got sick. At the same time, I started working on that, looking into it, so that'll probably be about another month before that's ready. So we will have a backup to Discord in case Discord really does go full. We need to start seeing IDs for everybody. I don't think they will, but it is a possibility. So yeah, that's basically what we've been up to in the whole month. I know it's not a really exciting, feature-driven thing. There will be a video probably in about 2 weeks about the Bake toolset, primarily how to use it, what it does, who it's for. Because ideally what it's really for at its core is for users to compile from scratch, compile from source, even if they don't know how. It's not a perfect tool set, because you can't support every distro, but it's a really good start if you understand the tool. And I will have a video about that probably in a couple of weeks up to the end of April, something like that. Is another pretty busy month for us because I do work hand in hand with tax agency. Insurance and taxes go hand in hand, and a lot of people in the U.S. are going to need their 1095-A form, so I will probably be busy until the 15th. But I will still also be working on more content. Hopefully I don't get sick again. Alright, folks. Oh, yeah. Second question. How much money are we looking at for the exchanges, and do you want to do a donation? It's a lot, but not for Nestex. Nestex, again, gave me a sweetheart deal, and I actually probably can get the money. It's just a question of getting it authorized from the board, getting it released to me in cash, and then converting cash into USDT, and then getting that USDT over to the Nestex people. That isn't my primary concern. My bigger one is for the KYC ones that are back-ended to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. So that way we could at least get our CoinGecko listing back. And those are quite expensive. So I know I touched on that, but I mean really expensive. I had an agreement with one of them, but they basically doubled their fee structure. So I think they were asking $2,500, and I think now they're asking 5 grand. And then a couple of the others that were more familiar with the industry, they were names that you probably would have recognized, are in on average asking between $5,000 and $6,000 right now, which I think is just absolutely fucking ludicrous. Like 1 to 3, okay, I could see that, but you're asking a whole lot of money, and the whole thing just seems like a scam. It really does, and I'm really irritated that we lost our exchanges that did it, but water under the bridge, can't really do shit about it. We're starting over from scratch. And on the question of donating, I'm not really comfortable with that. I don't really want your money as in a donation. Um, Thank you for the support. It means a lot that you guys would even offer something like that. But I find that that system is just rife for abuse. Work with me on this. Hypothetically, let's pick a number out of my ass, like $6,000. Let's say the exchange really was 6 grand, and we run some kind of donation mechanism, and we don't hit our target. Cryptocurrency, by the way, is there were very few services that were offered like that, unless it was for like I'm a nonprofit, which I'm not. Um, it was very limited for what crypto could be used. So basically, I would either be running a donation on a platform like, um, what's the fucking one? GoFundMe or something like that. And then I'd still have the conversion problem. And that would be the only way to guarantee that the funds could be returned if we didn't hit our target threshold. The other way was just to create a USDT donation address and let people just donate out of the goodness of their heart. I don't like that because, once again, if we don't hit the target threshold medium, I don't have a good way to get that money back to you, right? For one, exchange or transmission fees are kind of high on USDT right now. That's just a function of it. It sucks. Plus, there's like 1,000 different USDTs, and we got to figure out exactly which one. Um, I'm, I like the idea, and I like the support from the community for offering, but the reality is that I just find crypto donations are just rife for a potential situation of abuse. So ultimately, I kind of have been siding with no. Um, I'm not against if you just want to like donate a couple bucks or a couple pennies or a couple of cryptos to the project overall. I think I'm a lot more comfortable with that. But a specific donation for getting this back on exchanges, no, no. Because again, it's just too open for manipulation, too open for a lot of shit to go wrong. And so ultimately, donations to get on exchanges, fees, no. I'm not really interested in that. Unless you want to pay the whole 100% thing, by all means, DM me. Slide into my DMs on that one. But no, I think a donation for that, no. A donation for just like project maintenance, because like I said, my company pays about 2 grand a month for the various hosting services that are running the backbone nodes. And these aren't smart nodes, these are just the nodes that when your app starts up and connects, it will download the source data directly from those seed nodes. Those are the nodes I'm talking about. So they don't make any money. They cost us money in terms of actually physically running them. A lot of them aren't very expensive. I think the vast majority of them are like $6 a quarter, but there are a couple of them that are quite expensive because those are the test nodes that I'm using to build out the new exchange, or not exchange, the new Explorer. And because those have a larger hard drive requirement, are normally 2 to 4 core, and are normally 8 to 12 gigs of RAM, there is an obscene cost to those because of that. And costs are going up because, well, the global economy sucks. So in general, no, I don't want donations. I'm happy with my company shelling out the losses. It just takes time in converting, and I'm still beholden to a board. So that's it in a nutshell. I know, once again, not very interesting conversations. It's mostly technical. I do hope to have something a little bit better baked up for you guys in the next month's announcements. I am working on some things, or I've started working on some things these last couple of days. I'm really excited about it, but they are nowhere near ready for pushing. So, anyway, keep it live and 5. Like, follow, subscribe. Go follow us on our Discord server. Go follow us on one of the social media platforms. Go check out our website. Go check out Bake. Any project holder out there should be really, really interested in that. But anyway, it's been fun. It's been real. I love you guys. I will see you in about a month.
La falintaj infanoj krias, sed vi ne aŭskultas. La infanoj, kiuj postvivis, vi rifuzas agnoski. La infanoj